Hey guys, welcome to another video. My name is Devin Adams. I'm a Fortinet instructor here in Tempe, Arizona, and I record these videos usually for the people who take my class. I was chatting with someone on one of my Commons forum here, and I realized, you know what? I really don't have a video that just shows troubleshooting tools that is simple to follow along. And I'm like, you know what? I might as well do that. We learn these when you do take my class. I teach the NSE4 class, which is the FortiGates classes, but here I'm actually going to demo it. This video is going to be demoing these two tools that we can use when things aren't going through the FortiGate like they should. And I'm talking about like you've checked the settings, you've double checked yourself, you're ready to call the TAC. I mean, bust these things out, guys. Honestly, it's going to save you a bunch of time and frustration down the road, especially if you can get used to them. So essentially, there's two here. There's way more than that, and I'll actually put the link to all the diagnostic tools in the FortiOS manual in the knowledge base in the Commons field here, or in the video description. But these two, I mean, this is two that you should at least get used to on a daily basis. All right. So, on a daily basis, hopefully not on a daily basis, but it's the Packet Sniffer and then it's the Flow Trace. So, the Packet Sniffer is the internal sniffer. So, that's going to be used to see if traffic's even making it to the FortiGates or through the FortiGates. All right. And that's actually based off of, I think it's called TCP dump, right? For Linux, it's just the Packet Sniffer that you use like in a normal Linux environment. It's the same daemon. All right. But basically, you just put on the filter, you do a count, and then you can see if packets are getting there. Now, if the traffic's not behaving the way that you think it should, we don't know why the FortiGate's doing that particular action. Like maybe it's making it to an interface but not getting through the firewall, or maybe it's getting through the firewall when it shouldn't be getting through the firewall. And that's where the debug flow comes into play. This is known as the kernel sniffer. All right. And it basically tells us why the FortiGate did what it did, and it is a multi-step command to run through the CLI, and these are all CLI commands. Okay, but just like any of my other videos, before I can even show this to you guys, we got to build our topology. And I know that I apologize for showing videos all the time of building my topologies, but I just don't like the YouTube magic. And in case anyone wants to recreate it, okay, they can. But basically, what we're going to do here is in GNS3, we're just going to build a real simple topology here. I mean, as simple as we can get. We'll start with our NAT cloud. Now, remember, the NAT cloud, guys, is just a GNS3 tool that's going to essentially NAT our internal interface here to give us internet access. It pretty much shares the real internet connection that's on this host machine that I'm recording this on. Okay, and then the FortiGate itself, I'll use 6.2 because that's the one we've been doing a lot of our videos on. All right, so here we go. Okay, and yeah, let's go ahead and cable it up. Bloop. All right, we'll do it right there on port 1. And DHCP is turned on here, guys. And on the VMs, not on the physical appliances, but on the VMs, that first port does have DHCP turned on. So it's going to pull an internet address. It's not an internet address, an IP address, okay? And it's going to pull down a default gateway, and that's all we should really need for internet connectivity. And I'm just using the free VMs off of the support website to do this. All right, so we'll just call this something like I don't know, uh, next generation firewall FortiGate, something silly like that. Okay, and that should be booting up. All right, there we go. So we're gonna let that cook for a bit. Okay, let's go ahead and get one of our cool GNS3 internal switches here. All right, there we go. And I'm just gonna have this first set of IP addresses be that great 192.168 that we all love. So there we go. All right. Now, normally, if you just have one host machine plugged into this for testing purposes, you don't need a switch, but I'm going to show you guys a problem that we're going to have a little bit later on. And my favorite appliance to use, guys, is the WebTerm. It has a flavor of Firefox that works. All right. And it's pretty much as easy as it comes. So there we go. Here's the web term box. So I'm just going to go ahead and deploy the web term. Maybe. There we go. All right. So, and this is going to be the PC that we access the GUI on. Okay. So I'll just call this something like PC1, and let's give it an IP address. So here we go. Let's go to Edit Network Settings. All right. Take out the pound signs here. And then I'm just going to change this to a 1, change this to a 10. And our default gateway on the FortiGate, we're going to configure it to use a 254, all right, as the default gateway. So that's going to be our FortiGate here once everything's up and loaded and running. And for our name server, we're just going to do Google's DNS. Thanks, Google. All right, so there we go. I'm going to apply here. I'm going to hit OK. And I know it's silly, guys, but once again, I just don't like that Firefox symbol. All right, so let's go ahead and let's cable it all up. Okay, here we go. And I'm just going to go to port 2. We're not doing anything too fancy here. All right, and we'll turn that box on. And let's see where we are with the booting of this machine. So, all right, it's still taking a little bit. So when you first deploy these guys, it goes ahead and it formats automatically. It used to never do this automatically, and I love that it does. But it recognizes that there is a hard drive, so it formats for you automatically, right? So you can do logging. Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna let that boot up now. We're gonna test some basic connectivity here, and we're gonna get out to the internet, and that's fine, okay? But just for the sake of time here, because I don't like these videos being very long, especially the building the topology ones, I'm actually going to create a problem by introducing a another FortiGate. So, and we're gonna see why this is a problem here in just a moment once we get everything up and running. So, but where's my FortiGate? Here we go. Do I know how to spell FortiGate? Here we are. All right. And I'm just going to have this bad boy posting down here on the side so it's ready for us when we're ready to do our thing. All right. So, okay. Are you booted up yet, buddy? I swear I need to get a faster computer, guys. So every year this thing gets a little bit slower and slower. So, all right, it'll just take a second. There we go. So let's go ahead and configure this for the first time, and it might be a little bit slow. So, but the default is admin, no password. Now, starting with the later versions of 6.2, you have to give it a password. Fine, I'll do that. Just leave me alone. Okay, there we go. So, so if we go ahead and do a config system interface, and we do a show, you can see that port 1 does have DHCP on it. All right, so technically speaking, I mean, we should be able to ping out to Google from here right now. So, so let's test it. We'll do an execute ping 8.8.8.8. So we know that that NAT cloud is working. So we're able to ping just fine between this interface right here out to the real world. Okay, so and then if you do a diagnose IP address list, you can see here that it did pull down an IP address from DHCP and assigned it to port 1. All right, so we're good to go there. Okay, so let's do a config system interface and let's edit the port 2. All right, and let's go ahead and do a show here. There should be nothing there, and let's set the IP address to 192.168.1.254 with the /24. All right, and set allow access. Now this is writing the admin access to the FortiGate's interface on port 2. So let's go ahead and ping it for connectivity reasons, and also give it HTTP access. All right, so now with the free VMs, the HTTPS and the secure shell uses such low cryptos that it doesn't work anyways securely, and that's just kind of what they do to keep you from using the free VMs in production. But it works just fine for testing. And believe it or not, guys, I mean, that is it to get GUI access, right? So let's go ahead now and load up our PC1, and let's configure this for basic internet connectivity. All right, so we'll go to the IP address that we just configured on port 2. If everything turned out all right, we should get a login page. Oh my word, we did. That's great. So admin, then my super secret password that I just did. Okay. All right. I can never get used to that. We'll just say later. All right. So once again, normally we'd have to do a route, but if we come down here to our monitor and we look at our routing monitor, we got one from DHCP. So here we are. Yay! See the quad 0? All right. So, and then that's what it's directly connected to. Okay. So good times there. So all we really need now is a firewall policy, right? We got the quad 0 in there. So let's go ahead and do a policy IP4. We'll create new, and we'll just call this something like interwebs. All right. That's all the internet is a bunch of pipes. All right, here we go. Port 2 to port 1. So port 2 is going to be our LAN. Port 1 is going to be our WAN. Okay. See how I'm hovering over that to get the little legend popping up? And I'm just going to be as sloppy as possible here just because we're demoing it. So all to all. I don't care when they do it. I don't care what they're doing. Make sure NAT's turned on because it's an internet facing address. All right. So we'll hit OK. And believe it or not, that is it, guys. I mean, there's the internet. Okay. So we should be good, and we can test this out by going to our terminal. I don't know why the terminal never pops up using that link. Here we go. And we can just ping out to google.com. Okay, there it is. Easy peasy lemon greasy. All right, let's go ahead and introduce a problem though. Okay, guys. So let's say that we're doing this and we have a intersegmented firewall, right? So intersegmented firewall, which is FortiGate's fancy way of saying buy more FortiGates. All right. So, and this is going to be deeper within our network. So let's pretend like this is a core switch. This is at our edge. This is some shady department, whatever. So, all right. So I'm going to connect this to my port 1. All right. And then I'm just going to go ahead. Can I duplicate this with stuff plugged in? Nice. And this is going to be a completely different subnet. All right. So this is going to be a /24, but we're going to use the third octet as .2. Okay. So we'll go ahead and plug that into port 2. All right. I'm trying to create the problem now. So, and then once again, can I dupe this one too? No. Okay. You know what though? I am so lazy. I'm doing it anyways. So I'm going to hit stop. I'm going to hit dupe. Can't duplicate node. Sure. Why not? By the way, guys, I have to redo my complete GNS3 here because it's just been I've been slopping it on over and over again. This web PC, by the way, is the Terraterm box that I just changed the icon already. All right, so not a big deal, guys. Oops. Just make sure the settings are there. All right. Let's do configure. Let's go to edit. And here we're going to give it some IP addresses that are different. So just pretend with me, all right, guys, that this is a intersegmented firewall deeper within our network. So here we go. So 2/254, which is going to be this interface right here. All right. And then 2.10, which is going to be this PC here. Okay. And once again, we'll borrow Google's DNS. Okay. Not a big deal. All right. Cool. And just plug her in. There we go. Did you ever turn back on? Turn back on, suckerfish. All right, here we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and configure now our intersegmented firewall. All right, and hopefully that's all booted up, which it is. So we'll go to admin, no password, force the change. That's all good. Okay, and then we got to turn off DHCP because we don't have DHCP on port 1. So we're going to do a config system interface, and we're going to edit that port 1, and we're going to set the mode to static. All right, because we're not using DHCP. Then we're going to set the IP address as 192.168.1.1/24. So the FortiGate here is 254. Here is .1. All right. And once again, we'll set the IP or set allow access to be the same. We'll just say HTTP and ping access. All right. And then, if I was doing this in a real environment, I might do something like, I don't know. What you call it, guys? Help me out here. Telnet or something like that. Secure shell and HTTPS, the cryptos are too high. So for the free VMs, I don't know why I'm rambling. Let's go ahead and ping that other FortiGate though. All right. All right, there it is. Okay. Now we need to tell this thing how to get to the internet. Okay, and we can either do that through the CLI or through the GUI. Let's do it through the GUI. All right, but before we do that, let's go ahead and do a config system interface and edit that port too. And let's set the IP address to 192.168.2.254, and then set the allow access to HTTP and ping. All right, and we can test it from here, guys, by doing an execute ping 192.168.2.10, and that is this web term box right here. So, all right, not too shabby. So let's go ahead and do exactly what we did here. So we'll load up the box, all right, and we'll go to 192.168.2.254. There's our FortiGate. It's beautiful. All right, cool. All right. And let's just have the same goal here. All right, let's get out to the internet. Now, we did static this time, so we need to define the default gateway. Okay, well, that's easy enough. We just got to go to network, and we have to go to our static routes. All right, and we'll define the quad 0. Okay, here we are. So when we don't know where to go, we need to go out port 1 with the IP address of 192.168.1.254. All right, hand it off to the other FortiGate. Okay, we hit OK. And right here, we can test this. We can test it. So we can just pop open the CLI even before we write anything and do an execute ping out to 8.8.8. All right, ba-bum. Yay! We're getting out to the internet. So let's go ahead and give this web PC access. Okay, so once again, we need a what? A firewall policy. Okay, so here we go. We do a create new, call it interwebs, and just like before, our incoming is port 2, our outgoing is port 1. We'll do source all, destination all, I don't care when, services all. Now remember, guys, this is intersegmented. It's down here, so we don't use NAT. You don't have to NAT internally like that. There's no point of doing that. I love how that rhymes. Okay, so there we go. And now we should be good. We have the route. We have the firewall policy. Okay. And what the flying flip? Yeah. Come on, dude. Seriously? Maybe Wikipedia will work. All right. You know what? Fine. We'll go to terminal here. And we'll say ping 8.8.8.8, just like we did. Come on. All right, ping 192.168.2.254. All right, it can reach the FortiGate. 1.254. Okay, why can't it hit the other FortiGate? Well, that's kind of weird. Let's go ahead and console in there. All right, execute ping 8.8.8. I'm on the intersegmented firewall. I can get to Google here, and if I do an execute ping to 192.168.1.254, it's good there. Why can't I do this through my firewall policy? All right, so this might actually happen to us. Okay, so we know that we are getting a connection from here to here, okay? But is the FortiGate actually getting the connection from here to here? We don't know where the traffic's actually getting actually getting stuck, right, guys? So, um, or at least we know that it's at least making it to here, but is it actually leaving out here? We're not going to know those things until we do a debug sniffer. All right, so the packet sniffer is going to be the first thing that we do, and that's going to confirm that the traffic is at least passing through the FortiGate. All right, that is our first goal here. Okay, so let's go ahead and see, because according to our troubleshooting from this PC, it looks like it's going to this box and just dying. But we need to confirm if it's actually going in and out, and that's where the first command comes into play. So let's go ahead and do this. Are you guys ready? So once again, I'll have a link in the comments field on the diagnostics knowledge base from Fortinet, and there's a lot of good stuff there, guys, other than just these two tools, but I promise you these two are it. These are the ones that you're going to want to get good at. So we're going to do a Diagnose sniffer, all right, packet. Now for the interface, I'm going to do any here because I want to see both, if that makes sense. Okay, now with the filter, you actually have to string this together, so it's not a multi, enter command. So if I hit a little question mark here, we can actually see what's going on. So, but let's go ahead and do a host of 192.168.2.10. All right, and that should give us enough to actually see what we're trying to see. All right. You want to at least filter this down to some degree, though, because I promise you there's probably a lot going on to your FortiGate. So, in fact, you know what? I take it all back because I'm going to see the GUI traffic, aren't I? So why don't I do host 8.8.8.8? All right. So there we go. Now the next one's verbosity, or how verbose. I'm going to make it very simple for you guys. It's 4. Just use 4. That's all you got to do. If you're doing it through the CLI, you're going to do 4. Now, I have videos out there of doing the 6 and 3 where you have to convert it to a PCAP file. No, we don't got time for that. And I don't care about the timestamp format, okay? So, but I do care about the count, because I don't want a whole bunch of these happening on me, okay? So I just want to see 10 of them. All right, and it's ready. Now just pretend like we telnetted to this. Hey, look at that. That's right, because we did DNS, didn't we? What? Yeah, okay. I guess I do have to be a little more specific. Specific. Any host and host. Can I do that, or can I just do address? I have to look it up, so just a second, guys. I have it like right in front of me. I just got to look at it. I just realized we're using 8.8.8.8 for our DNS resolution. It looks like it's doing something there. See the .53? It's doing DNS resolution. Wow, I should really practice these before I do it, guys. Sorry. Here we go. I'm just looking for the sniffer syntax here. And like I said, I'll put that up on the comments field. There we go. All right. Destination host. That's what I was looking for. All right. Here we go. So we'll say, here we are. I did that on purpose to show you know it's important that you guys do that. So IP source. Here we go. Source host as 192.168.1 or 2.10. And then we'll do an and destination host of 8.8.8.8. All right. That should be better. All right. So let's go ahead and initiate the ping again. All right. Oh, nope. I got to ping 8.8.8.8. And if we run back here, you'll see that it's going in and it's going out. And it looks like it's still doing DNS. But you know what, guys? It doesn't matter. You want to know why? You want to know why? Do you guys want to know why? All right. It's getting through. How do we know that it's getting through? It's coming into port 2 and it's going out port 1, into port 2, out port 1, into port 2, out port 1. We know that there's nothing wrong with this internal segmented firewall. It's making it through just fine. So we're like, okay, where's the next place that there could be a problem? Well, it's obviously going to be this firewall right here. All right, so let's go ahead and go into here and let's see if it's even making it to this interface. And the reason why this is important, guys, is because you don't know if there's something wrong in between here. I mean, this could be like a layer 3 switch or something. It could be doing some weird routing or some weird policy drop if it's a more intelligent device. I mean, here it's just a dumb layer 2 device, but you just never know. All right, so let's go ahead and on the next generation firewall, pretty much do the same thing. All right, so let's log in, and that's going to be our next step. So we'll do a diagnose sniffer packet on any interface, okay? Or, you could be more specific. But here it's going to be a little bit easier because we know nothing's going to randomly be coming from 192.168.2. So we can actually just do the filter just like that. So let's go ahead and just do a host 192.168.2.10. All right. So it's listening for that. And then don't forget the veracity is always going to be 4 with a packet count of like 10. All right. Okay. Now, bear with me here, guys. Okay. What you can see here is that there's our echo request. So our Linux box is still reaching out every 2 seconds. Let me close some of these down. Trying to make that ping happen, okay? And then also we had this junk right here trying to do DNS resolution, so that's why you're seeing it here, all right? But look what's happening. Look what's happening. It's making it to port 2. Do you guys see port 1 happening? No, you do not. So we know that it is making it to this FortiGate. We just have no idea why it's dropping it, because it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. There should be nothing wrong there. And that's where the flow trace comes into play. So once we can confirm that traffic is making it to the FortiGates, in other words, we ruled out anything in between the two FortiGates, or this could be a router or another routing device, right? Or like a layer 3 switch, all right? So we're like, what the heck? What's going on here? Why is it dry? Is it a firewall policy thing? Is it a whatever? We have no idea. And that's why the flow trace is so important here, is because it's the internal sniffer. In other words, it's the kernel sniffer. It's going to be telling us why the FortiGate's doing what it's doing. So let's go ahead and turn it on. So it's going to take multiple commands here. And unlike the sniffer, you don't just concatenate it all together. You have to do it step by step by step. So let's do diagnose, debug, flow. All right. And then if you do a filter here and do a question mark, you can see all the different things that you can do. Okay. So I'm just going to do a clear just to make sure someone wasn't doing something before. These are fresh builds, so I didn't have to do that. But anyways, but for the address, all right, I am going to filter out for 192.168.2.10. And then I could keep on doing this, right, guys? I could also do source address, destination address, port numbers, so on and so forth. I don't really care. All right, that should be enough to grab it. And then the next one with the diagnose, debug, flow, show console. All right, what did I misspell? Diagnose, debug, flow, show. Oh, I guess console enable isn't on the new ones, huh? Interesting. Yeah, look at that. No way. That is crazy, guys. Huh. All right, I take it back. I'm following a guide from 5.4. I guess you don't need that anymore. It used to be that if you didn't put that in there with the console show, you didn't see it output to the CLI. Instead, it went to the logging. So I guess you don't need that anymore. So Now, also with the show function name enabled, not end, enable. All right. So my understanding of that is that it just shows a more granular way of representing what's happening with the output. So it's going to show what it's doing and its function name associated with its action when it's doing the output. So just think of it as giving us more detail. I've actually left that out plenty of times and still got what I needed. Okay. So, but before we can make any of this happen, we actually have to enable the debugger. So let's do a diagnose, debug, enable. All right. And then let's do a diagnose debug, flow, trace, start, and guys, always put a packet count on there. You don't want this thing just to be flowing. Okay, let's just do 10 like before and hit start, and here we go. All right, so it'll do its 10 and then it'll stop. Okay, let's take a look at what's going on here. All right. So here we go. Here's the ID, new session, allocate a new session. So it's trying to build a new session. And look at this, guys. Reverse path forwarding failed drop. What? Dude, did I really just say dude? I have no vocabulary. So this thing flat out told us that it went to go find where the heck the 192.168.2 network could have came from. Because remember, guys, with the reverse path forwarding check on most modern appliances, all right, if it can't find the source IP address, it drops it. And the visibility of the next generation firewall FortiGate here ends at this interface right here, the 192.168.1. All right. So what it's saying is, yeah, we're not even going to process it. It's failing that lookup. All right. So, and that's when we slap ourselves on the head. I did a control C, by the way, to get out of there. And we say, oh my word, I forgot. It needs to know about the route. And then it felt like a turkey. And then we go fix it. Now, if it was a firewall policy thing, it would have said denied due to firewall policy, bleh. Or maybe dropped because of policy 0, which is another one for saying implicit deny. Okay. There might be IP rope, which means that it hits something that the FortiGate thought it owned, like an internal IP address, or you're trying to do access like telnet and it was blocked. Okay. You can look on their documentation website of all the different commands if you don't understand which one, but it tells you right away what happened. All right. We know that we forgot to do the route that lived beyond the FortiGate, the next generation FortiGate. So guys, I promise you, okay, the debug flow shows you why, the sniffer shows you if. Because if there was something wrong with this switch, you might have spent all day trying to figure out what was the matter with these two FortiGates, not even realizing that traffic was making it out here just fine and not even making it here. Do you get what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to use these. So that confirms that it's hitting it or not. Because if I never saw anything on this port here, guys, I would have done, and it was leaving out of this port here, I would have done all my troubleshooting right here. Okay. But once we knew it was hitting here, but we had no idea why it was dropping the packets, we did the flow trace, and then it told us because of reverse path forwarding check. I mean, come on, that's brilliant. Just remember, once you're done, be kind, rewind. All right, we're going to do a diagnose, debug, reset, and that puts all the settings back to normal if we were dialing in weird connections. And that's just a habit to use, at least in my humbled opinion, whenever you're using the diagnostic commands. And then a diagnose, debug, disable. And the debug daemon, all right? So obviously it's resources that don't need to be turned on if you're not using them. So they say best practice is to shut them off, but I'm pretty sure that the newer versions of the FortiGates does shut off the debug daemons like after 30 minutes of use if we forget. So let's go ahead and fix it. Are you guys ready? So let's fix our reverse path forwarding check error. So we'll go to PC1. All right, we'll come over here to the FortiGate. And this is the next generation firewall FortiGate right here. And we go, oh man, totally forgot about reverse path forwarding check. I'm such a turkey. I was blaming it on group policy all day long. I'm just kidding. All right, so here we go. Static routes, create new. All right, and we're gonna say, hey, you know what? If you're looking for that 192.168.2 network, okay, I need you to pass it off to 192.168.1.1, which is this interface right here, which lives off of our port 2. All right, now that it knows where to go, okay, now that it knows that that lives beyond this interface, just like magic, okay, where's our other, look at that, right away. Yeah, that's our web PC. All right, just like magic, everything starts flowing. Okay, pretty darn cool, huh, guys? So once again, the best tools that you can use and get used to when you're troubleshooting problems with traffic flowing through your FortiGates, all right? The Packet Sniffer to confirm that packets are making it there or not, all right? And then the flow to show you why. Okay, so hopefully someone found that helpful. The video was probably 35 minutes longer than it should have been, all right? But yeah, I'll end it right there, and good luck, guys, and I'll talk to you guys later. So take care.